It's tundra time. I cannot find a connector local. Not to mention the thing's like 60 some bucks. So we're just gonna run down to Wilburt's. It's only a mile down the road. We'll just chop one off. Hopefully they have one of these suckers. It looked like when I was looking them up, like through Napa and Advance and stuff, there was two different connectors, a gray one and a black one. So we've got the triangular shaped gray one. So we'll go see what we can find. So we've got a lot of Chevys here. Inventory is always changing here at Wilburt's, which is nice. I mean, they don't seem to last very long. We'll see if we can just find us a. Here's a 2500 right here. It's a cat eye though. Let's just see if that's got the same connector. That'd be awesome if it does. Cause it's, oh, wait a minute, it's rough on the old knees. Look at that, old son. Same thing. This is not the right one. The pins are offset differently. Mrs. O sent us a picture of that one. This one's black. I guess we do need a gray one. Yeah, they're offset just a little bit different, aren't they? Dang it. We need to find us an OBS 2500. I just looked under that OBS half ton. I just like saying OBS. We'll keep looking. How about this one right here? It's not an HD. But let's have a look. Oh, look, a free glove. We can use that to kneel on. Boy, these rocks are pretty stiff. No, she's a big flat 4-wire. Son of a biscuit. What about this one? That's an HD. I don't know. She got 8 luggies on it. She got the big frame on it. Whoa, just in case. Get it? Harness is gone. Dang it, that's one we needed. Son of a hooski. Somebody else must have needed it too. Here's an HD. Come on, baby. I don't want to be looking all day. Dang it, that one's freaking black too. What the world? So I just looked up the part. It's 2000 to 01 only. That's what sucks. And it's GMC Sierras in the half tons. We may be out of luck. Or we'll take that other connector and just cut the alignment guides out of it. Is what we could do. I guess, or just take it and depin it. But the 01 Chevy half tons, otherwise it's got to be a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton. That's kind of frustrating. So I didn't get a list. Wilburt's will give you a list of the cars they have, but I didn't get a list because I didn't think I'd need it. I didn't think it was that specific. So I'm just going to walk back down the road, and if not, we'll grab that black one and hope for the best. Here's a Jimmy. This is a half ton. Oh boy. Nope, dang it. Did we already look at that one? Yeah. That's it. It's tundra time. Had I known that was so year specific, I would have looked before I left to see if they even had any of those vehicles here. But I didn't, so that's my own fault. So how about this? Instead of cutting the locator out of it, well, this is the only tools we have to Wilbert, so it's just a pair of cutters. Let's do this. Let's just depin it. That would make the most sense, and just put those 2 pins in there. Right? That's what I would say. But then again, I've been wrong before. It's interesting. I wonder why they ran that O2 sensor only for those 2 very specific years. Who knows why manufacturers do what they do. Okay, so our wire colors aren't going to be the same, but we just need 2 of the pins. Let's undo this. Doesn't really matter. I think those 2 are the same. The gray. We'll grab these little fellas here. I got us a T-pin. I think I know how these ones work. Am I in the right one? Oh no, that's a gray one there. Or the tan one. Go in here, hit the release tab, grab the purple one. This will really confuse somebody someday. Okay. So here we go. We've got a couple pins that we can use. I'm just going to push the The lock retainers back up on them. Actually, we didn't fold them down too bad. Man, my eyes are really bad today. Okay, so we'll just stick these 2 pins in our connector. Probably somebody was already saying that when we were getting it. My other thought was that we were just going to reach in there and cut that locator, but now we don't have to. We've got a couple of the wires we need. We'll chop them off, butt connect them together, and call it a day. There we go, folks. Twist these around so I wouldn't forget who goes where. We're just going to come up here into the fresh section of the wire. Reason I can't chop it off, right? Strip these little guys back. I got us the wrong butt connector. I need to go get us some pink ones there. Stick that one on there. That one's all good. Wire's a little bit longer than we needed. It happens. Then when we get done here, we should be able to plug that wire back in on the ECM. We'll get those connectors put together. So there's those. Let's heat shrink them down. And then we've got the original connector, so we should be good in that regard, so we don't have to worry about it plugging in. I'm gonna have to get this polylumen stuff put back on this harness that I opened up. And no sense in recording all that. Just looking at the O2 sensor connector itself, being that we did have a small amount of corrosion there. Nothing crazy though. So these are all heat shrinked. Going to take the old Scotch 33. I ran the polylume back down that harness, and I'm going to retape the whole thing. We'll tape this pigtail, and we'll tape up the factory harness up through there. This will really confuse somebody if anybody ever goes to test it as far as wire colors, which typically, when I'm looking at stuff, I don't usually mind so much wire colors being different. It's when pin numbers and stuff get a little weird, but the pin numbers are obviously all correct on this, but the colors are going to be different than they were from the factory. But it's really no big deal. Good there, and then I'm just going to work my way the rest of the way up this harness. We'll call it a day. Everything's buttoned up under there. Now we just need to button this up here. This was pin 66, remember, so I'm going to take this connector off. We're going to pop that pin back in. I'm going to leave, what was I going to do with it? Oh yeah, it's over here. I'm going to leave this off for the time being, and I can snap that on with it all connected. Keys on now. Bank 2 sensor 1. We're at about 450. I left it unplugged because I wanted to see what our voltage is here. We'll plug her back in. left it there so I could hopefully do it one-handed. So there's that. She's plugged back in. Oh, that's interesting. That drops it down to 300 millivolts. Now the rear ones, now they're going down near zero because the heaters are turned on, because they're key on, heater on, you know. That's weird. Did I plug in? Yeah, the other side I've got plugged in, didn't I? Yeah, I plugged that one back in. Up here on the driver's side, I know you guys can't see. You know what I'm wondering? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this the dirt bag way. Because we know our open current or our open circuit voltage is correct. Let's re-unplug this. And back when I first started working on this, I had actually ordered ourselves a couple of new O2s. So I got some new Denzos here. Let's just plug this in and see if this O2 sensor is just shorted per se, pulling that wire down. Because look, with the new Denso in there, now that we fixed the wire, it's at 450 millivolts. So it actually needs an O2 sensor too. I'm probably just going to do both the upstreams, given that they're 20 plus years old. So here's the Denso number on these. All right. And then the trick with O2 sensors to get them out, which I rarely have a problem, is to do it when they're stone cold. Okay, I've had a problem trying to take them out when the car's hot or the manifold's hot, and I use that term loosely, hot, because even like warm to the touch, these suckers don't like to come out. You do them cold, I reach up in there with an oxygen sensor socket. This is my favorite one, this guy. Stick that up in there, give them a whack, and they usually crack loose, and you spin them out with your fingers. No joke. So we'll get a little, never sneeze on that, and I'll go slide that baby in. Both O2 sensors installed. You can see they're working pretty well, or as they should anyways. And then the rears obviously are working because they're down near 0 volts. Let's turn on the Thundermaker. Oh yeah, Chevy footer! Hopefully the manifold stays on. And now, we should have some responsive O2s. Downstreams I'm not real worried about. Let's see here, 2-1. We'll start letting her warm up here. Okay, so these O2s should start coming alive as soon as it hits closed loop. What'd you do there, fella? 0 to 1, why is it not on there? Minimum 0, maximum 1 volt. We got no graph, but we're at... Oh, let's go like this, because it's in millivolts, idiot. Hey, there we go, we're back in action. At 0. It's just easier to watch it on better scaling here. There we go. All right. So our O2 sensors are back alive. I don't know if we have our fuel trims in here, because we're gonna have to wait for our fuel trim. Tell you what, let's just go back, instead of poking around all these screens. I'm gonna go back to generic OBD2, get our O2 sensors, get our fuel trims, and let her run here. So now that we have functioning oxygen sensors, I was holding the RPMs up there, just letting her warm up. So we have O2s that function, but we also have a problem now. So now it can enter closed loop. Now we've got fuel control. So we can see that they both have a tendency to run lean there on a DXL. And now we can see that our fuel trims on both sides, here and here, are at 25%. So it's running super lean. Our mass airflow is slightly under-reporting here. So let's just clean the mass airflow and see if we can't fix up these fuel trim numbers. I think this truck has had a lot of problems for a long time from the looks of it. But you can hear it has a slight hitch in its giddy up. It's got a ton of problems. Yeah, like I say, fuel trims are pegged out. Let's grab the old Cosby sauce here and see if she's got some magic things to Just looking at fuel trim numbers, seeing if they spike right out. No immediate change in fuel trim. None of this stuff we would know without, without having good oxygen sensors. It's a feedback system, and if they're feeding back the wrong data, everything else is an unknown. Let's have a look here. Make sure this is. Sometimes these air boxes don't get put on all the way down here. Let's take and pop our mass airflow sensor out. Yeah, I'm safe bet to say she's probably dirty, considering it's got chunks of stuff here. What the world? Yeah, it's got a little bit of debris there. Probably a pretty good bet. I mean, we can see that it's under reporting. It was only running about 5 grams per second there. Air filter is brand spanking new. Let me get a Q-tip. Keep a box of these around. Love me the wooden tip ones. You can really get deep in the ear canal. Where the spot they tell you not to go. Get a little bit of mass airflow cleaner on here. / starter fluid / brake clean. Oh, she's not that dirty. That's interesting. Yeah, these wires, usually if I do that, you'll pull the Q-tip out and they'll be really dirty. That one's not that dirty at all. That's interesting. You might have to get out the Avoca smoker, see if it actually has a vacuum leak. Yeah, I expected these hot films or these hot wires to be way dirtier than they were. Unless I cleaned off something I didn't see, but knocked the crap off the front of it. Baby. All right, yeah, no, the hot wires, there's 3 hot wires in there. And they were pretty clean. Even though, like I say, even though there's some junk on the honeycomb there. All right, well, let me put this back together. This is the boot down on the throttle body. It was off on the bottom. You can see where it's been pinched off there. So I'm gonna stick this on the tube here, how it goes on correctly, just to make sure we're not getting some pirate air. Arr! Fired her back up. Let's see where we're at now here. Our long term is now 1417. Mass airflow is reading 6.3 now instead of 5.5. So that definitely helped. Still a touch on the lean side. Now I don't know how much leaking manifolds will contribute to that. But it's definitely a little on the lean side. I don't know if that's in typical Chevrolet fashion, if their preferred valve is stuck. They usually are. Let's see. Nope, that didn't change at all. It is open, but I'm plugging it off with my finger. And it's not changing our short-term fuel trim at all, so we're not super worried about that. Gotta plug in the rest of our data here. Like I said, our mass airflow is reading back where it should be now. far down the rabbit hole these people want to go as far as making this thing perfect. But it's definitely 1,000 times better than it was. It's a 2500, so it's exempt from emissions laws in New York as far as inspection goes. So this thing will drive around with the money light on, you know, no problem. Even just slightly off idle, the fuel trims are spot on the money. What's up? Okie dokie. It's lunchtime, folks. I think we're going to leave it. Like I say, I'll check with this lady and see what they want to do, but I think they just wanted it so it actually would run. Bump it off and idle one more time watching the fuel trim. Yeah, so just off idle, they're absolutely perfect. You know, or give or take, you know, less than 10%. Well, I'm not gonna pet sweaty stuff or sweat sweaty stuff, because we've regained fuel control, truck runs decent. Well, that's it, folks. Lady wants to leave it at that. It's within fuel control. It likely has a vacuum leak, and if I was going to guess, it's in the bottom of that EGR valve. These things are super failure prone on those EGR pedestals. I think we've done videos on those where we smoke them out. You know, if the intake's not leaking or the brake booster's not rotted through or it's not going through the purge, usually when we put the Avoca smoker on them, it's leaking out of the bottom of the EGR pedestal. And this is a hydro boost, so, but it's well within fuel control. It's just, you know, it is what it is. So, but when the computer sees, like it did originally, sees that value is skewed so much on that O2 sensor, it starts changing our fuel trims, you know, either taking away fuel or adding fuel, however that O2 sensor is stuck, until the point the engine just, you know, is just really running like crap, and that was their main problem. You know, bad O2 sensor plus the issue in the wiring. So not a big deal. We're able to find that, get it fixed, and now it's in control again, but still needs some work. But given the shape of the rest of the truck, I don't blame her. And I don't blame you if you don't go in that comment section. The questions, the comments, the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know where to find us. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching. I don't want you guys to think I'm a hack, so I'm going to give you some bonus footage. That's the EGR down there. We got the Cosby's on. That's spits all around it. Down that tube. Look what it does to your fuel trim. Let me give her another shot. Just spraying down the tube. There you are. That's your problem, lady. If you want your fuel trims absolutely perfect, you're gonna put a new EGR pedestal and stuff on it. So, anyhow, bonus footage for you. Get your fuel trims spot on the money. So, just in case you guys didn't believe me, you have a nice day.